Hey guys, it's Mr. Christian, and I'll be reading CEO Cleo Edison Oliver, Playground Millionaire. I have Chapter 9, The Paratrooper Tooth. Josh! Josh! You've got to see this! Cleo bounded into the living room. JJ slid on the wood floor and crashed into her. Josh didn't take his eyes off his book. What? You'll see! She grabbed his arm. Let's just say it involves your Nerf gun and flying teeth. Josh's head snapped up. You never asked if you could use my Nerf gun. May I use your Nerf gun? Come on! You'll think this is so cool. Josh shut his book and stomped behind them through the kitchen. Everything all right? Mom asked, pulling a pan of lumpy cookies from the oven. Cookies that looked like they could choke a yak. Great, Cleo said, zipping past before Mom could ask if she wanted to try one. Did Mom realize customers liked lollipops, cupcakes, and cookies to taste good? You sure? Mom's eyes had a "what are they up to now" look in them. Cleo leaped up the stairs before she could ask more questions. Sure! As soon as they got to the boys' room, Cleo hit Josh with her sales pitch. She kept her voice low. You want your loose tooth out, right? He squinted one eye and looked at her warily, like a fish eyeing a shark. I don't know. Why? What if I told you you could have it out today? That you could get your quarters and gum this very night? His lips pooched out and the space between his eyebrows got all wrinkly. He thought she was trying to pull a fast one. I'm not trying to trick you, Josh. I'm letting you be my first customer. I'll even make this first time on the house. You're not supposed to go on the house anymore. Julian looked up from his plastic soldier battle. Mom said, on the house means for free, JJ. I'm going to let Josh be my first customer, for free. She grinned. What do you mean, customer? Josh said. What's that got to do with my tooth? What's a customer? Julian asked. Oh man. JJ had so much to learn. A customer is someone who buys a product or a service from someone else, like the people who bought our avocados. She spoke to Josh again. In this case, you would be buying the service of me taking out your tooth. Except I'm not going to charge you. This time. Josh's eyes got huge. You? No way. Please, Josh. It'll be so fast you probably won't even feel it. He narrowed his eyes. You'll probably make it hurt on purpose. That stung, but she brushed it off. She had a business transaction to complete. Actually, I won't be doing it. Your Nerf gun will. Josh's forehead bunched again, and his lips were all stitched up. What do you mean? Cleo held up the floss sheet nap from the bathroom. I'll take a piece of this, tie one end around the Nerf missile, and the other end around your loose tooth. Then I pull the trigger and shazam! Your tooth is soaring through the air. Like a paratrooper? He said slowly. Just like a paratrooper, Cleo said. A smile spread across his face. She got another flash of inspiration. I'll be right back. Don't try to do it while I'm gone! She rushed out of the room. Mom talked on the phone downstairs. I wonder if we could work out a deal, Jean. I need cage-free eggs for my products. You have cage-free chickens? Miss Jean? Perfect. Mom won't be on the phone for a while. Miss Jean liked to talk. Cleo headed to the room at the end of the hall to find Dad's new tablet. Getting sent to her room for taking Mom's knife tickled the edges of her memory, but she swept the thought aside and kept on going. She found the tablet in its drawer. She stared at it. Should she? Her parents had made it absolutely clear that she was not to use it without permission. If only she realized the can of Pepsi had tipped over on the last one. Unfortunately, she'd been horsing around with JJ and left the tablet marinating in soda. She needed to record this momentous event. The opportunity to capture her tooth pulling method on video might not come again for weeks or even months. and she would be careful. Super duper careful. No electronic devices would be harmed in the making of this film. She grabbed it and ran back to the boys' room, closing the door behind. Julian was dropping plastic soldiers off the top bunk, making explosion sounds when they hit the ground. Barkley! Yay, Barkley! He'd actually made it up the stairs. Stood below, trying to catch them in midair. He snatched one in his mouth, laid down, and went to town on it. No, Barkley! Josh yanked the soldier from Barkley's stinky mouth and wiped the slobbery toy on his pants. What are you doing with that? He watched Cleo turn on the tablet. Aren't you supposed to... I'm going to record your paratrooper tooth. His eyes lit up. Cool, then I'll be able to watch it. You and a whole lot of other people, Cleo thought. Her marketing plan was taking shape even as she loaded her tooth-pulling instrument. Her extractor. No. Her extractor extraordinaire. TM. She tied a long piece of floss to the missile. Julian climbed down the ladder. You gonna hurt Joshy? She took the loose end of the floss. No, I'm helping him. Aren't I, Josh? She smiled, thinking about all the dangly tooth kids at New Heights Elementary. Josh suddenly looked unsure. Time to take charge. It was fortune principle number 4. Confidence inspires confidence. And right then, Cleo's young followers needed to believe that she knew what she was doing, even if she wasn't 100% sure herself. It's going to be great. Think of the story that you can tell at school, and you won't have to go to sleep terrified you're going to swallow your tooth again. Josh nodded, but his eyebrows were still pulled together. Cleo forged ahead. She made a slip knot at the end of her floss, but around Josh's tooth and cinched it tight. Is it gonna hurt? It's gonna hurt. Josh shook his head. I don't want to. I changed my mind. He'd been a chicken about the other teeth too. She handed him the extractor. Here, you can pull the trigger. She put the tablet in camera mode and held it up. But, Josh protested. I want to take a picture, Julian shouted. Barkley started barking. JJ jumped into her arm, jostling the tablet. Cleo sucked in her breath as it slipped through her hands. She bubbled it a couple of times but grabbed it before it hit the ground. Dummy! You almost made me drop it! JJ's bottom lip started to do as its jello jiggler sang. His big brown eyes watered. Barkley was still barking. Quiet, Barks! She didn't need Mom coming to investigate. I'm sorry, JJ. I shouldn't have called you that. You can take a picture after me. Promise. She put her arm around him, feeling bad for making him cry. I just need you to watch for now, okay? Okay. He sat on his bed. Barkley sat on the floor with his chin on JJ's knee. One brother down, one to go. Do this, Josh, and you'll be able to tell Emilio. He'll think it's super cool. I bet all the boys will think it's cool. He looked for the Nerf gun to the tablet and back to the Nerf gun. Okay, I'll try it. Bingo. She pushed the record button. Say hello to Joshua Myron Oliver, client of Cleo's quick and painless tooth removal service. Josh stood there staring like a dummy. Wave to the viewers, please. Josh raised his hand, but his smile looked pasted on. Better than nothing. Cleo turned the camera on herself. Here at Cleo's quick and painless tooth removal service, an important rule of any advertisement was that it should repeat the name of the company at least 3 times. We let the customer be in control. She put the camera back on Josh. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Oliver, just pull the trigger. Barkley started barking again. Barkley, quiet! Josh shook his head. He was wimping out. I don't want to do, he said with his mouth open. Drool spilled over his lip. Great. Nothing like a little drool to win over the customers. Of course, we understand at Cleo's quick and painless tooth removal service that not everyone is excited to say goodbye to their teeth. Cleo lunged for the Nerf gun. She wasn't sure who exactly pulled the trigger. The missile rocketed toward the window. Josh screamed bloody murder and clutched his mouth. JJ jumped up and down, shrieking. Barkley barked like mad. Cleo ran to pick up the missile and held it out in front of the tablet. Dangling from into the floss was one beautiful baby tooth. Ka-ching. Josh rushed for his mouth. Give that to me, that's worth money. She handed it to him, still attached to the missile. Smile for the camera. He smiled for real this time, showing off a nice big gap where his top front tooth had been. It worked, he shouted. She zoomed in on his mouth. So, folks, as you can see, this is one satisfied customer. The doorknob turned. Mom. Cleo slung the tablet along the floor. It zipped across the carpet and disappeared under the bed. What in the world? Mom said, stepping into the room. What's going on here? My tooth came out! My tooth came out! We did it with my Nerf gun! Josh held up the missile. The tooth swung on the floss. Your Nerf gun? Mom's jaw dropped. We even got it on the first try, Cleo said before Josh could finish, just in case he'd been about to say they'd recorded it on the tablet she didn't have permission to use. Yeah, isn't that so cool, Mom? He ran to Cleo and threw his arms around her. Thanks, Cleo! Her heart suddenly felt all soft like room temperature butter. You're welcome, she squeezed back. Mom put her hand on Josh's head. I guess Mr. Tooth Fairy will be making a visit to our house tonight. He nodded excitedly. It's my turn to take a picture. JJ tugged on Cleo's arm. Mom looked at JJ, then at Cleo. The questioning look back on her face. I told him he could use my camera. Julian kept tugging, but... Come on, JJ, let's go get it. She took his hand. She needed to get him out of here pronto, before he spilled the beans. Mom asked to see the tooth. She held the missile, laughing. Cleo, how do you come up with this stuff? Cleo smiled. What could she say? She was inspired. With a little luck and some word of Josh's mouth advertising, she would be turning a profit in no time. Thank you for reading Chapter 9 with me. Enjoy the rest.